Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to go over this life-size Terminator 2 silicone Lewis security guard piece. So if you want to learn more about this, stick around.
Hey, I got a full house.
That's good, Lewis.
Must be my lucky day.
So you guys just watched the scene. You guys tell me, how close does this bust look like the actual Lewis from Terminator? So a little background. As you guys can see, I am a huge Terminator fan. If you guys want to learn a little bit more about these pieces, I did do one video kind of going over each one of these pieces that I'll link towards the end of the video. But many years ago, my buddy on YouTube, Gypsy Catcher, had a review on this actual Lewis bust, and that was the first time I ever even saw any pictures or anything of this actual piece. And actually I was really surprised to see that there was such a high-end Lewis security guard piece made from the movie. I mean, it definitely was. While a short scene, it was definitely an iconic scene. One of the many iconic scenes from Terminator 2. But, you know, I didn't think they would ever make a bust out of it. It's kind of like John Connor's stepdad, too, when the Terminator took him out towards the beginning of the movie. I mean, it'd be pretty cool if they actually did a bust. Now, that one would be a little more challenging because the Terminator 2 had the whole sword piece going through the milk carton and going through John Connor's stepdad. So chances are you're never going to see anything like that. But someone did tackle this Lewis bust, and I think they actually did it, at a very high-end scale. I apologize. I do not know who the maker's name of this is. I know it was a maker from Germany. I am not sure if he's still willing to make this bust or what the actual cost are. I actually was on the hunt ever since I watched that video many years ago, but not one time did I ever see this come up for sale. And it just so happened last year I saw one other person had it, and I commented, that I loved the piece and was hoping someday I can pick up one. And someone else reached out to me and said, "Hey, I got one. Are you interested?" And took a little while. It took about 6 months or so after I contacted him, but he did eventually sell it to me and ship it to me. So I'm really, really happy to have it in the collection. But yeah, let's just kind of dive in and go over this piece. So first, now this didn't come with it, but I did actually get the cup that you saw from the scene. Now, surprisingly, this is very, very hard to find. Now, of course, it's not the exact cards that we're showing on the scene. And in fact, I think if you watch the scene, there's two different cups that were actually used, and none of them actually had a full house. But some guy on YouTube on eBay was selling them. I think I had to spend like $50 for this one cup. And I do see them pop up every once in a while on eBay, or like somebody may even have like an entire sleeve, and they want like $1,000 or more just for the sleeve. And one thing to watch out for with these cups, This is kind of the height version I believe they used in the movie. There is a taller version of this cup. While it looks very similar, it's not exactly the one that was used in the movie. Now the uniform, this came pretty much like this. The one thing that you'll notice is missing is I'm missing his badge. So I've been on the lookout. I probably had this thing, I don't know, 7-8 months. Got a save search on eBay that been looking out for a badge. In fact, I looked on completed listings when I first got this, and I saw like a week before I received this, pretty much the very exact badge that was used in the movie, which was a real badge from the state hospital, a peace officer badge. But it was, I think it sold for $290. So I came to the realization then that, yeah, there are badge collectors out there, and they're willing to pay some pretty good money. Now I've seen some very similar California badges for like animal cops and Peace Corps and police and things to that nature that are very similar, not exact but very similar. Go for a little cheaper amount of money. So I was tempted to pick up those a few times, but I figure, hey, I'll just be patient. One of these days the right badge will pop up. I did add this pin because if you really look at the scene, he did have a pin there. Now it did come with this, so that's a nice touch. And of course his little Lewis nameplate. Now I did also notice in the movie how you can see that it has the patch on this side. It's actually missing the patch on this side. So I did actually pick up one. Eventually one popped up on eBay. So I plan on having a seamstress sew that on. She'll probably look at me a little sideways for for bringing this in and wondering what I'm going to be doing with it. But yeah, I'll eventually have her put that on, and then once I get the badge, it'll look pretty movie accurate at that point. Now he also had a V-neck on this, which if you watch the movie, it wasn't a V-neck, it was a regular crew cut. So I did go ahead and change that out. But yeah, let's just kind of look at the details on Lewis's face here. Now, as you can see, it is silicone. See his mole there. The skin detail looks very good. And I think the color of the skin also looks very lifelike. Now, I kind of got a bright light shining on him, for this filming. So it looks a little sweatier in this camera than it actually looks in real life. Now, in reality, he probably was sweating it when this happened to him. Now the tongue, it looks a little fake, but I went back and looked at the movie and it actually looks like this, So right when they show this part in the movie, I'm thinking they actually made a silicone dummy for that particular scene. So I think, while I can tell that's a fake tongue, I think it looks pretty accurate to, at least in my eyes, on what you actually saw on the film. You can see the eyebrows look really good. The eyelashes look very natural. I think the actual eyeballs themselves I think they look high quality, but not the highest quality. So I think they're pretty good, but they could be one notch better. But still, it does look really good. And then he gave you multiple ones of these points. I actually filled this in and chromed it because the one he gave you had a big hole in it. So I just wanted to kind of cover that up, make it look more like the T-1000's little pointy finger that he had during this scene. And then there's a little hole right there, and that's probably in there, oh, I don't know, maybe an inch and a half or so. So it sticks inside pretty good. Of course, in the movie, it went all the way through to the other side of his head, or out the other side of his head. And you can see he added some blood there. So I think it looks pretty darn good. And then being silicone, you can see it's all hand-punched hair here. So the hair looks very real. I think the ears look pretty natural, which I've heard is actually a pretty challenging thing to do. You know, you can see that he's got a mole there. So yeah, all in all, being a huge Terminator fan that I am, super glad that they actually made this bust. I think it fits in great with the collection. Yeah, as mentioned, if they ever do something with John's stepdad, I'd definitely be interested in a piece like that. And I'm hoping someday we'll see a good Sarah Connor and even a good John Connor from T2. So anyhow, guys, appreciate you watching another video. And until next time. Hey guys, I appreciate you watching another video. I'm a huge fan of home theater and these movie replica props. I'm going to put out a couple of videos each week in those areas. And if you're a huge fan like I am, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.